real woman fighting for fairness in sport. This story this morning, it's from April Hutchinson, who's just the athlete in her sport in the entire world. Because she's sick of biological men dominating her sport. So she tweeted this morning that she faces a 2-year ban by the CPU, that's the Powerlifting Union, for speaking publicly about the unfairness of biological males being allowed to taunt female competitors and loot their winnings. Apparently, she's failed in her gender role duties. I love this. I've failed in my gender role duties as a supporting actress in the horror show that is my sport right now. Naturally, the Powerlifting Union deemed my written private complaint of the male bullying to be frivolous and vexatious.
Isn't it amazing, Sheila? And April is one example in powerlifting, a very masculine, I would argue, sport, but it does have a female division. And rugby, again, very masculine. You would think they would have people as part of the executives of the governing bodies that would realize that when a biological male in rugby, the infamous Ash Davis, and in powerlifting, I can't even remember the loser that now identifies as a female in the female division. You would think they, above all, would come out and say, no, we know what it's like to be in a physical contact sport. We know what it's like to lift weight that, well, quite frankly, can be above your own weight. But no, the wokeism and the indoctrination is even there. I mean, April facing a 2-year ban for telling the truth, for going to bat for the fact that 'twas ever thus, male and female sports, with few exceptions like equestrian and auto racing, they've always been segregated by sex for obvious reasons. She is facing 2 years out of the sport, whereas the guy who won, I've heard of bad losers before, Sheila, but it's very rare you come across a bad winner. Not only did he win by smashing the female record, but he then went on to taunt the biological female weightlifters. He likened them to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a big giant dinosaur with, little tiny spindly arms. He gets away with that. He's not called on the carpet for that kind of grotesque unsportsmanship. This kind of transanity, again, Sheila, it is just like what we're seeing with the pro-Hamas rubbish. If we don't call this out, if we don't put an end to it, as politically incorrect as that might be, it is going to get more and more emboldened. And we just saw last month, Efren and I went to the Pan Am Center in Markham, and there was a 50-year-old man, Nicholas Cepeda. He goes by the name Melody Weishart, which kind of sounds like a porn starlet. But speaking of pornography, I still can't get a straight answer if this 50-year-old male who swam with 13 and 14-year-old female swimmers got to use the same change room and the same showers. So there's not even transparency. And by the way, folks, that's the game sheet. There it is. Melody Weishart, 50. Look how that number just comes flying out at you with the Orangeville Otters. And Swimming Canada is okay with this. By the way, Sheila, on this point, there's Nicholas, by the way, a psychology professor at Toronto's York University. Perfect. 2 of his specialties are shockers, youth and children. Can you imagine? But World Aquatics, which is the international governing body for swimming, they came out with an other category. This is part of the recommendations you'll find in the book Linda Blade and Barbara Kay co-authored, have an open category. And the World Aquatics, their big world meet was in Berlin last month. And guess what, Sheila? How many transgender swimmers showed up for the open category? Well, that number rhymes with the word hero. That's right, zip. No transgender swimmer came out for the open category. But why, Sheila? For years, we've been hearing from these lunatics. Oh, I want inclusivity. I want to be part of the big show. I want to go to the Swimming World Cup. And then we bend over backwards and create an entry for them. Nah, not interested. Do you think just maybe, Sheila, it's not about getting into the pool? Do you think maybe with some of these people, it's about getting into the change room of the opposite sex, which is especially attractive to them if the change room of the opposite sex has, minors in it? This is disgusting.
I don't even think for the majority of them it is about getting into the change room. I think it's just about cheating.
Yep.
I just think it's about cheating. And that's why they didn't enter into that open category. Every time I see these dudes competing against women, I think about that scene from Seinfeld where Kramer is talking about his success at karate. And then the gang goes down to the dojo and he's fighting 9-year-olds. That's what this is like every time I see these dudes swimming against little girls or powerlifting against women. April cannot out-train biology. She knows that. Science knows that. But the higher-ups in her sport don't.
Hey, I got to tell you, I'm going on a cruise with a whole bunch of rebels. We're sailing out of Fort Lauderdale on March 23rd, 2024. That's not so far away, less than 6 months away. A gorgeous trip around the Caribbean. Holland America Line, boy, is that luxurious. And we're going to bring some of our favorite rebel talent. Sheila Gunn-Reid, David Menzies, and can you believe it? We're actually bringing Tamara Leach with us, and you are invited. That's rebelnewscruise.com.